you
just
have to
saying that.
remember, Straight Outta Compton did well.
That wasn't a slave movie, but you're
No,
right.
no, but we're
Right,
talking about black movies, not just slave
No, I was
movies.
talking about slave
right,
movies, but okay.
Okay.
You're
right.
right.
But I mean, as
It
far
did do
as
well.
far as
But
on
it's
a
also about celebrities,
slave.
though. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, also, but I mean, coming from just slave movies in general. Now, there's some slave movies that done great. You had Django that did great. Um, uh, uh, I can't think of the other
Roots.
movie. Roots, yes, Roots that did great. Even when they remade it, it did great.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, um, and I mean, they have other movies too. But me personally, I'm just getting exhausted with just slave movies. Not that I mean, if people want to see it, that's fine. But
You don't have to see
I
it.
just don't want to. I just don't want to see a black person getting whipped.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see a black person getting raped.
You don't
I
have
don't
to
want to
go
see a
to a
black
slave
person.
movie to see that anyway. You see it every day in America, so it's just
Well, I mean, I understand
proverbially.
that, but
So
it's like, but there's more to Black history than just slaves. I mean, I know there's
in
a part of it,
America,
but it's like,
really there is, of course, far more than just being a slave. But in America, it is unfortunately the root of the black experience in this country, and that's why it is such a heinous thing that it was, and it's such a part of the fabric of this fucking country's history, which is an embarrassment and sad part of our history. But it
right,
is certainly important, and so for me, I feel like when people say, I don't want to see another slave movie or another Holocaust movie or whatever the fuck they're talking about, to me, it's like, okay, I just want to forget about the history we've had. Not saying you literally want to
Right.
forget it, but it's like I said to you before, I've said before, the reason we have gay pride parades to me is about visibility. If you see that people are still gay and they're out there, you can't ignore them. And so if you
Right.
remember the fact that black people have gone through this kind of thing, and Jews or whoever, and you don't forget it, then you will remember that, and you will remember what happened, and it will continue to be remembered. And I don't think forgetting it is the right thing. And so I think that's why it's important to have slave movies, whether you watch them or not. So
right, right. Well, again, that's just I. That's the way I felt combined with some of the
right,
comments that people were they were commenting on it. I'm just like, yeah, I can kind of see where they're coming from, and that type of thing.
cool.
Moving on to another topic. You know what? Cross the line. We ended with our more serious topics. Now we're gonna get just straight into the bullshit. The first thing I want to discuss is this motherfucking debate. This debate was just pure nonsense. Like,
Which, to be honest, I don't even know why. Obviously, watch it to see kind of what's going on. But for me, I know who I'm voting for. It's no question for me. I watch it. It makes me aggravated. It makes me annoyed. And then I have to go online and look at all the shit. I'm so over it. And again, it's probably because I've known who I'm voting for. It's never really been a question in my mind. I didn't learn anything from it. I didn't take away anything from it.
I don't think
And
you
I
have
don't know
learned
if you
anything
guys feel
from
this
this one.
way, but I'm just tired. I feel like I'm wasting my time at this point.
I mean, no, I agree. I feel like it does get exhausting after a while, especially when we're less than 30 days away from election, and it's a little annoying because the whole thing was on this particular debate. Neither one of them really answered any questions. I mean, if
It
you
was a
really think
lot.
about
It
it.
was a lot of twisting the question and a lot of manipulating the conversation to try to make the other person look bad. What I would like to see, and again, I understand it's just a debate, but we already know what each of them have done wrong. We already know when they fucked up, how they fucked up in their careers, and so on and so forth. I don't need them to continue to bring up things we already know. They mentioned it during the campaigns, in the ads, whatever. That's fine. We do our research as consumers. We figure out. We try to sift through what's true, what's not, what's being blown in, what's being made into a mountain, right? So to continuously bring up the same issues as far as what the others have done wrong, I'm just over it. Answer the question, because I want somebody to look dead. I'm sorry, I got a little heated. I want somebody to look Donald Trump dead in the face and ask him how he's going to improve the lives of the LGBT community. And I want to know what
Thank
his
you.
response would be. And nobody has asked him that, which I already know. I don't know what his response would be, but I could have an idea.
Well,
But
since
I
since
want,
he, but ever
but
since
the
he
thing, regardless,
announced
I
to
want
become,
somebody to. ask a question and for them to actually fucking answer the question.
Well, that's true because ever since he's announced the run to be president, he has yet to discuss any type of political situations such as education or healthcare reform. Well, I guess he touched on that somewhat, but it really wasn't an answer that I was looking for. I mean, he really hasn't just really said what he's going to do for the country. He's just talking about how he wants to make America great again, and I'm just like, well, what do you do to plan on making America great again? He can't even answer that fucking question. So it's like, I
Because the answer is take Hillary Clinton down. Like, uh,
it's just
it's
I
just
don't know. It's just annoying. And then I don't know. And now I feel like there's another part to where it's ever since Trump has been running for president, and then you had the Grand Wizard from the KKK endorsing him. I feel like Trump has a lot of racists supporting him. I mean,
No,
no,
really?
no. Let me take it back. But yeah. I mean, it's just like,
my favorite was when Hillary Clinton called them. She said the word she used was so brilliant. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'll try to think of it. Continue.
no. But
But
it's just like, and and because me and my mom had this conversation the other day, and she was saying that she feels like currently racism really has not changed from when she was growing up. And I don't know if it's because now, since we live in the world of social media and like this stuff is able to be viewed online and that type of thing. I don't know if social media has a lot to do with that now, as opposed to back then when they didn't have social media. But and of course, I wasn't alive back then. But in her eyes, she was like, I really don't think it's really changed that much, especially with Trump, trying to become president, and you got all these racists supporting him, and that type of thing, and they're really vocal about it, whether it's through on a cell phone footage or online or whatever the case may be.
mhm.
Just recently, some 911 dispatcher got fired for talking about something about Trump and how black people's calling in, and she was like, "Oh well, of course you're gonna know his nickname because that's what you're knowing." But I'm like, what does it have to do with anything? But supposedly that bitch got fired. She got what she deserved, and it's like these people are going online. A lot of these supporters are going online, spewing their hate, and then a coworker sees and reports it, and they're fired. And I'm like, like I don't know. I just don't know. I'm just the whole thing is confusing me as far as the whole Trump situation and why people wanted to support him. And when people ask him, they ask him, well, why do you support Trump? Well, he wants to make America great again. How? Answer that for me. How is he going to make America great again? No one can answer that. They did they went out and randomly asked people. No one can answer the question. So I'm just like, I don't know if they're doing it because they don't want a woman in office. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know, but it also boggles my mind that women are supporting him after everything he said and done and everything. I'm like, y'all are really y'all are still going to support him? Like,
To
really?
me, I think what's the most interesting is like, especially over the past week, given everything that's gone on, to see all of the credible Republican leaders and figures in the Republican community vocally, um, separate themselves from Donald Trump and, essentially say that he's not morally, um, like voting for him is morally and ethically not the right thing to do. I think that says a lot about those that are still remaining. And every time I talk about this, one particular person pops into my mind that I lost a lot of respect for, somebody in my life that's actually a gay person. Um, and it just baffles my mind because, again, like, as a gay person, I don't understand how you can support somebody like that. Like, I really try to understand. I really do, but I just,
Didn't I tell you about that on the show already
you
last
can't
week?
understand. You can't understand that kind of person.
Didn't we talk about that last week on the show? I don't know if I said that or not about.
Yeah, we briefly touched
Yeah.
on it. You said
Yeah.
being a gay Republican is like being a black KKK
Yeah.
member. If I remember correctly, that's what you said.
Well, I did say that, but what I meant was that usually it's about their own self-interest fiscally or financially. That's why it's about.
Right. And I can understand that, but again, it's like if you look at what's morally and ethically correct for the country
Not a concern.
outside of yourself.
Not a concern for Republicans. Nope, they don't care.
Well, there are a lot that said they're not going to vote for him. So I wouldn't say that just because you're a Republican means that you're going to vote for Donald Trump this election.
Right.
Well, I mean, those that are voting for him. You're correct.
You know, so
All
we'll
right.
see. I think we all know what's going to happen, but I'm just ready for this to be over.
I don't want to
I am
even
too.
contemplate the fact that he might win, so I don't even think about it being a possibility. So in my mind,
I don't. To me, it's never been like. I remember we talked about this like probably a year ago, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not talking about this. Like, I'm not worried about it." You know, like obviously I understand that it's important to talk about because if you don't talk about it, there are going to be people that don't go out and vote and use their voices, or don't do their research. But for the most part, I've never felt like he was good enough for me to even consider.
Well, it doesn't matter what we think, though. That's the problem. It matters what the majority of people in this country think. If they think that he is for some fucked up reason, then it doesn't matter that we think he isn't. So if they're the majority rules, well, truthfully, the majority doesn't rule in this country because we have an electoral system, a college system. But anyway, you know what I mean. So
Right. And then speaking of, Trump and everything, that video came out a few days ago with him on a bus. I guess his mic was hot and he didn't realize his mic was hot. Excuse me. Here's my thing. If you're wearing a mic, I've worn mics before. I just automatically assume that they're on unless I have physically turned it off myself.
They are on.
And I'm just thinking to myself, why would you say something like that on a hot mic? That makes absolutely no sense. But it's out there now and that type of thing. And I know he's getting a lot of backlash for it. But here's the one thing that people aren't getting on Billy Bush's case for until just like today, because he was like laughing and joking with Trump. Now supposedly Billy Bush, he's on what, Access Hollywood, or is he on Extra? I don't know. I don't watch the show, so I don't know what show he's on. But Billy Bush is one of these entertainment reporters, and I guess he supposedly he was suspended from the Today Show. I guess he's on the Today Show now, and he was suspended. For now, it doesn't say how long or anything like that. So it was just interesting that everyone got on Trump as they should, but no one really said anything into Billy Bush until I don't know, a day or so ago. So, but enough of that. They've been recirculating and replaying that clip over and over and over again. It's like I'm gonna throw up if I see it again on TV. But other than that, and also when it comes to politics, Hillary, Donovan, what do you think she's gonna do for the LGBT community?
well, I know what she said she's going to do for the LGBT community. She said she's going to.
What could you reiterate a little bit? Please,
unlike
sir?
Trump, who is going to try and take away our rights that we've gained the past 10, 15 years in this country that we fought so hard for, including gay marriage and protections under the law and things like that. She's going to try to protect against discrimination on the basis of gender identity and sexual orientation for GLBTs. Also, end conversion therapy, when they take you to the fucking place to make you straight or whatever, making that against the law completely across the board. It is in some states, but not across the board. Protect the transgender community from violence and enact laws to help them also get equal protection under the law, support LGBT families, and also HIV prevention drugs, increase access to those, and fight youth homelessness, which we were just talking about. So she has a platform that actually tries to protect people that we care about in our community, and she really fucking gives some fucking care about us, at least some. I mean, whether she actually does it or not is a different story. But at least on her platform, it's there. Donald Trump wants to take everything away from us. So why anyone who is gay would vote for Donald Trump when you're gay makes no fucking sense. So
Right.
And married, gay and married.
Right. So, okay, moving on to some other entertainment bullshit topics. Now, there is a video going. Well, I guess it's a video going around of Ariana Grande. She was on Ryan Seacrest's morning show, On Air with Ryan Seacrest, and supposedly Ryan Seacrest had asked her a question about an Instagram photo. I wish there was an audio to it, and we don't have the audio, but supposedly she had taken a picture with rapper Mac Miller, and they were like hugging, or they're like on the floor hugging or something like that. I don't know. And then Ryan had asked her, um, So are you guys dating? Are you doing what? That type of
Mhm.
thing. And she